Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sith Holocron's Deck Building 101. Or 102, seeing as we've already done like a fearsome deck. But anyway, I digress. Welcome to a Donger deck discussion. And if you watch our videos a lot, you will see that I have already made a fearsome deck that I promised wouldn't end up being Shadow Isles, and made a Shadow Isles deck. But there's a very good reason for it. When you watch the video, nearly everything that's got fearsome, like 80% of the fearsome units in Legends of Runeterra, are from that region. So let's stick away from it this time. Because the deck's building challenge, that you can see my thought process and everything that we need to do, is about this. It's about Overwhelm. And this is a great mechanic, and I can't believe we haven't had a really good, massive Overwhelm deck that's like good, apart from Darrowing. So that immediately puts me off putting Darius in, because he's Overwhelmed. I'm not going to make a Shadow Isles deck, so let's hecker him out. Which then leads me to kind of think, okay, so if we can't use Darius and we can't use Hecarim, what do all of these guys bring? Well, as I said in the other video, they have got things that will bring something in. So Heimerdinger will bring out an Overwhelm unit. Gangplank is actually Overwhelm. And then you can cast spells and do all this sort of stuff that grants Overwhelm things to him. I'm pretty sure that Draven gets Overwhelm when he levels up. But I've done an awful lot of Draven decks, and I've just done a Misfortune deck, so I think that's going to leave me maybe with Gangplank. I mean, we could start with Gangplank. Or we could go Freljord. Oh, we could go Freljord and go Swajani Tryndamere. That probably hasn't been done before. Okay, initial thoughts. I mean, we could go Bilgewater, Swajani, Tryndamere. We could do all three to get as many different things in as we can. So let's go for two of these, and two of these. And then once you've picked your champions, you need to think about what they do. So I had put Tryndamere in the fearsome deck, because once he levels up, he's Overwhelmed and fearsome, which is great. You don't need to do anything. All he needs to do is die. So he requires nothing really. Swajani, also Overwhelmed, play Frostbite and Vulnerable this round. You've damaged the enemy Nexus in 5 different rounds. That's pretty good. And then Gangplank. When I'm summoned, summon a Powder Keg, and you've damaged the enemy Nexus in 5 different rounds. Okay, so the only way to guarantee Nexus hits, either side attacking or defending, are spells. So we're going to go back into my favorite little thing. We're going to hit spells, and then we're going to type in Nexus, and these are all the spells that do stuff. And then we're going to put Bilgewater, and then we're going to put Freljord in, and that gives us these. So we want to damage the Nexus. So warning shots, 1, 2, 3. That's good. Parlay, 1, 2, 3. Make it rain, 1, 2, 3. Now, Powder Kegs are these. So your spells and skills deal 1 extra damage. Destroy me when your spell or skill damages an enemy or the enemy Nexus. More powder could actually be quite good. Like it could really be quite good. So let's put one of these in, and let's put 1 double tap in, and we can come back and we will, you know, I only own the 1 double tap because I normally use Misfortune. I don't really have every single card in the deck yet. I mean, I have a copy of every card, I just don't have 3 of every card. And double tap is good because you do 2 to an enemy, and then if it kills it, so it's twice this. Deal 1 to the Nexus. This is deal 2, deal 4 to the Nexus, but it costs 6, so it's a bit. Actually, do you know what? I don't even think that's good enough to be in there, so we'll just take that out. So that's our spells that do things to Nexus. Okay. Let us go back to the Overwhelm. Okay. Chum the Waters is an excellent spell because it brings out Longtooth. It's a really, really good card in Bilgewater. Pack Mentality is slow. We'll put 1 of in that. And now we need units. And sadly, as you can probably tell, we're in spells. So let's go to units. And these are the Overwhelm units in Bilgewater and Freljord. Ruthless Raider is fantastic. That's going to be a 3 of. This is brilliant if you get to round 10. And if you're playing Trindlemere, you're probably going to be there. So let's put 3 of those in. And now we get into really interesting territory. Like, really interesting territory. Do I go out and go all Overwhelm? I still have 14 cards. So I'm looking at this and we have nothing we can play on 1. The Feral Mystic becomes the first thing that you can actually play with the Ruthless Raider. So we're attacking on evens. Okay. Our 3 cost units we don't have any of. Okay, so we have nothing to play for 3. We want Overwhelm. The Mighty Poro that you get when you played Braum. As soon as you hit him, you get 3 of these. So let's put 3 of these in. And then we're going to go to a 4. Now we have a 4 in Chum the Waters, which is a Challenger Overwhelm 5/2 in Longtooth, who is just superb. So that is 1, but it's a slow spell. So now we're going to look at the 4/4s right here and see what we get. And we have Avazarian Outriders. So Allegiance. Yeah. Grant the top ally of your deck 3/3 and Overwhelm. And it's an Overwhelm unit. Okay. That's not bad. 3/3 for 4 isn't bad. And then we have Wolf Rider. Plunder. Get an empty mana gem. So none of these are really jumping out at me saying that they're as good as Chum the Waters, because it isn't. You're getting Vulnerable and a 5/2 Challenger for 4. And these are nowhere near as good. So let's see what our curve is like. So we only have 1/5. Okay. Okay. These are starting to look really good. We're not going to do Endure because Atrocity and Vengeance and sorry, yeah, like Vengeance just ruins Endure. Tusk Raider's really good as a 1 of. We're not playing Misfortune, so we're not going for that. We're not going for that one. We're not going for that. Well, we might do because we do have a Gangplank at the minute. Ooh. But the Ancient Yeti is really, really interesting. That gets really interesting. So, when it comes into your hand, at the end of every round, you reduce its cost by 1. So it costs 7, but you'll never play it at 7. You'll probably play it at like a 4. So maybe 2 of these would be good. Scarmother, when I survive damage, she's a 3/8. You grant a 3/3. We'll take 2 of those. This is such a good card, it's untrue, and that's a really good card, it's untrue. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I will go through why I think these are good cards. Did I put the alpha in? I haven't put the alpha in yet, so that's not good. Okay, that's 42 cards. Okay, we're taking the Tusk. Okay, let me. Sorry, my brain is now going dunk 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 as I think steps ahead. This is going to end up being quite a light deck. Because the 4 units are rubbish. So we know on 4, the only thing we can really play is Chum the Water. This, we're not Allegiance. Unless we go mono Freljord, or at least 36 cards Freljord, and take out the 3s that are Bilgewater, which would then take out... what are the 12 we've got? Because these are all... Okay, so if we took out Gangplank, that's 2. Chum the Waters is 5. 6. And Make It Rain, that's 9. And the Parlay. So if we go... So the 2-4 units here are okay. The Avazarian Outriders is brilliant if it's an Allegiance type deck. Do I want to build a deck? Do I want to build a Freljord version of Darrowing? Is that a thing? Is that genius? Is that actual genius? Is that actually genius? So if we remove Gangplank and Parlay and Warning Shot and more Powder and Chum the Waters, what's the other 3 that we've got up here? What's the 3 that is ruining my Allegiance deck? Because if it isn't brilliant, it's coming out. These are all. No. No, the Make It Rain's too good. The Make It Rain's too good. Because we've lost all our abilities here. And we've only got 4 spells as it is. And one of those is Pack Mentality. But then we could actually add 2 of those in. And run... Freljord, and then we're still only getting the Feral or the Ruthless, and we're still on 2s, but we have absolutely nothing round 1. So now we're 100% on Freljord. And we need to make a 3rd Svajani and a 3rd Trindlemere. Okay, so that's 34 cards. And then we're going to take this out. We're going to take this out. And we're going to see what's really good. So Omen Hawk is too good not to have 3 of. Icefield Archer is too good not to have 3 of. And the Trapper to bring an Enraged Yeti is far too good not to have. And this and these are brilliant. So that's Frostbiting the strongest enemy. That is doing that. And now we're at 49. Now we're at 49. And I don't think I really want anything else here. So we're going to take the Tusk Raider out. Even though it draws the Swajani, we'll probably get him anyway. That's the thought process. And he's 8. And on 8, I'd rather play Trundlemere than the Tusk Raider. Think. Should we actually drop the Make It Rains? Shall we actually drop the Make It Rains and go for Battle Fury? Fury of the North? And make another mono deck as well? Because everything in here is all Overwhelm. So if I go up and take out Make It Rain and put in Fury. Hello. What the hell? What? Ah, you see, that's why. And then we'll come out of that and we'll just put it all back to normal. We'll clear all the filters. We'll get rid of that. Okay, we are on 49 cards. That's good. That's decent. We'll take the Tusk Raider out. That's maybe too much, and that's maybe too much. Maybe we just go for Swajani and we'll keep one pack mentality because it's pretty good. We have 2 6s. I mean, if we could drop both of those and then we only play our champion on 6. Now here's an interesting card, okay? And as a deck builder, you have to know what is happening next. So how often are we going to plunder? Well, Freljord puts out big units, a lot of them with Overwhelm, and hurts a lot. Like they are just big, beefy. We are Viking. So if you plunder, it turns into this, which is a 6/6. But we don't have a way to actually plunder him. So the Ursine Spirit Walker, when you plunder, becomes Overwhelm, and all allies with 5+ power also have Overwhelm. The problem is Trindlemere already has Overwhelm, and that already has Overwhelm, and if that hasn't been plundered, that's a dead card. I mean, it's a beefy unit, 4 power, 6 health. That's really good, but the fact that we're not running anything here at all, apart from Swajani, I mean, she will probably go to like 6/8 quite quick. That's 7. Oh, this is weird. This is a horrible thing to think of. So we've also got far too many 5-drops. Like, we've got way too many 5-drops. So I think now we need to start going. I'm relatively happy with where I am. I would really like a couple of Frostbites. And then you've got to think curve. So we've got a 1 unit. The best 1-drop unit in the game out. So that's the second best, because Black Merchant is the best 1-drop in the game. But this is real close. Brittle Steel will also help. Feral Mystic is now our 2-drop, along with Icefield Archer and Ruthless Raider. Is that too many? Is that too many? See, Icefield Archer and Ruthless Raider are just in nearly every single deck, and they don't actually do a lot. So I'm on 47. And these are way too many 5-drops. So I'm going to probably drop at least 2 of them. And the thought process behind that is, on 5, I would maybe want to be playing a Fury of the North or something like that. And 4 5s are too much. So now we're going to individually look at each card, discuss in my head, and therefore out my mouth to you guys, what makes these cards good. The Ursine Spirit Walker is good, and it is good as long as it plunders. And other than that, I think that's quite low down my list of cards that I want to play here, to be honest. It's certainly not up in the... I mean, I would even maybe take one of these 2-drops out to free up some space. I mean, that's just a 2/2. That's a 3/1, but does Frostbite. That is a 3/1, but it's really a 3/2. But they don't have... Oh dear, dear, dear. You see, this is why I love deck building. Like, absolutely love it. We've started off again by going, let's see what the Overwhelm things are. We get Noxus, we get, you know, and Freljord is what we went down to. And now we're sitting at 47 Freljord cards. So it's going to be a mono one. So anything allegiance-wise is okay. So what was the allegiance one? There was one in here. Wasn't there? Wasn't there an allegiance card that made me go, oh, what if we actually played this? Am I going mental? Is there something in here that isn't making me go, this is really weird? Or was it Oh, it was this one. Okay, let's put one of those in just to see where we are. Because now this card now is phenomenal. This is absolutely phenomenal. Grant the top ally in your deck 3/3 and Overwhelm. Even if it has Overwhelm, it's now a 3/3 and it's solid. Let's go for the 3 of these. Let's put cards in Freljord that aren't being used that often. So let's get rid of that. We are going to keep the Feral Mystic and we are going to drop either the Archer or the Ruthless Rider. I think because this is Overwhelm and this doesn't, this goes. Let's keep the theme and the whole process behind the deck. We're still now at 47. Now, we have no Harsh Winds. The Brittle Steel's okay, but it's not brilliant. But then we're running out of stuff down here. So now we've got a Spell, an Omen Hawk, a Feral Mystic and a Ruthless Rider, the Trapper to bring out the Yeti, a Poro for Overwhelm, the Avazorian Outrider, Fury of the North. This is just one of the best 5 drops in the game, period, so it's staying as a 3. I think Rime Tusk Shaman needs to stay in as well. But then I want this to be an over... I don't think this is good enough. I don't think we're going to plunder as much as we think we are. And it's very dependent on plunder to actually turn into something amazing. And it does turn into something amazing, as all other allies with 5+ power have Overwhelm. But seeing as we now have the Outrider that's bringing the top ally to your deck 3/3/3 and Overwhelm, I don't think we need this. So I'm taking this one out, and that puts us down to 44. Now, I would like to try and find some way. Rime Tusk is too good. This is too good. I mean, that is interesting. Oh, I mean, this is just madness. This is madness. I don't... Do we need this? Oh, do we need this? Thoughts going all over place. That's a really good spell, but it's slow. But it makes every ally in our game, every single unit in our game, +2/+2 Overwhelm. Is that worth the only 7 that we've got? I mean, is there any unit at 7 that's better than that? They who endure. I don't think so. We did have an Ancient Yeti, which could be quite good, but it's only a 5/5 anyway. Or we could go for this one. So when I'm summoned, you frostbite enemies with 3 or less health. Oh, this is tough. This is actually a really tough deck to build, right? Because if Overwhelm's our main priority, then this has to stay, this has to stay, this has to stay, and this has to stay. Because she will get bumped up. Which means that the Alpha Wildclaw, at the same cost for a 7/6, this becomes a 6, say 7, 6/6 instantly. And then if it survives damage again, then it's a 9/4. I think we're going to take the Alpha Wildclaw out. Oh god, am I really going to do this? Really am I going to do this? Okay, let's take the Alpha Wildclaw out. And that leaves us with 3 5-drops, 2 6-drops, a 6 and an 8. So to be fair, if we now look at curve with a spell and this, 2 units, 2 units. I mean, where are we on spell-wise? We've only 7 spells. So our spells are 3 Brittle Steel, that Pack Mentality thing, and Fury. Fury has to stay. Brittle Steel has to stay. I'm not sure we need this. I don't think we need this. So that puts me down to 1. And then I need to sort of have a look here between these three. And I mean, that heals itself. I mean, I could actually just take it out altogether and then my curve would be amazing. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and find something at 7 that's decent. So we could go for an Ancient Yeti and an Icy Yeti. Or, you know, I don't really want to put Avalanche in here because we don't have enough things that are over 5. So Avalanche isn't really even a consideration in my head. We're not running any Poros, so the Aura Borealis doesn't really do anything. I mean, we could double Harsh Winds and call it a day. I mean, we could do that. I just don't want to turn this deck into some sort of like poor Ash Swajani or poor Tempo Swajani. I want it to be much more Overwhelm than anything else. But saving ourselves, we haven't got... I mean, we're literally down to Furies, Brittles, and Harsh Winds. And that's essentially what it is. So I'm going to put 2 Harsh Winds in. And that's 40 cards. Wow, okay. That's... And here's the bit of deck building 102 that you've got to remember. I've got 40 cards. I'm not even close to being finished yet. Because I now need to make sure that everything in my head is right. So this is, you know, we're looking at 8 spells and 32 units. That's... I don't even think that's enough. I think we might need a couple more spells. But the problem being, what spells? I mean, the Avalanche is great. Take Heart is great. You know, Flash Freeze is brilliant, but it's too overcosted. Shared Spoils is superb. So Shared Spoils is this. You grant the top 3 units in your deck 1+1/+1, and if you plundered, you draw one of them. I don't really care about plundering. I think we've kind of figured that out now, that we just want to go wide, big, beefy, and hit with Overwhelm. Is that better than this for a 2/2? So up until round 9, Feral Mystic isn't very good, even though it's got Overwhelm. And it's not. But you know, once it's enlightened, it becomes a 6/6. I can't see it being played that light. I really can't. But now this whole thing is starting to look like a bad Swajani deck. Like a really poor Swajani deck, and I really want to keep the Overwhelm in there. But the only other thing is the Ruthless Raiders in every single deck is because nothing that has one power can kill it. Nothing. Absolutely zero. That's got a 2/2. I like Shared Spoils though. Like, I really do like that. The top 3 units in your deck 1/1, and then you've got this guy, so everything gets a 1/1. So because we've got 3 of these, do we need 3 of these and just keep the units? I think 8 spells is too little. I really do. I really do. So let's have. I mean, like, obviously we're not going anything like this at all. Like, we're just not doing any of this. We've got our Harsh Winds in, which is great. Iceborne Legacy's interesting. If it was a fast spell, I'd be very tempted in it. So let's show you this. Grant an ally and all allied copies of it everywhere. 2/2. I mean, that's kind of good if you're... no, I mean, no, let's not. Let's just not talk crap. Let's not do that. Avalanche is still not doing anything for me here at all. The Rhyme-Toss Shaman's one of my favourite cards in Freljord. It's just fantastic. And so's the Trapper. This has now become This has got the ability to become MVP. But I want more spells. Like, I actually want more spells. I mean, do we really need to... So we don't need Entreat. I mean, that's just silly. Elixir of Iron's kind of good. Give an ally... But it's not. It's just not. It's just not. I think, to be completely honest, if I was going to change anything, it would be this, and it would be for probably the Ruthless Raider. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of the Ruthless Raider. It's in nearly every Freljord deck anyway, while Feral Mystic isn't. This, I think, really should be in index, and if we want big beefy units, now we're sort of up there, I think. And now I'm going to go through this and actually see what the curve is truly like, because I think we've now got the beginnings of a really good deck. We've now got a 20-90-11 spell count. That feels a bit better. So that freezes anything with 3 or less health, and it only costs some mana. Omen Hawk, brilliant. Feral Mystic, you know, if still not completely happy with it. Like, to be honest, I'm really not. But there's nothing else for 2 there out of Freljord that I really want, so that'll do, and it keeps us in curve. 3 is Trapper and Poro. So that's 2 units. Avazarian Outrider and a spell in Fury of the North. The best spell probably in the game for its cost. Hearthguard and Rhymetush Shaman are both 3s of. Harsh Winds is a 2 of. I may even take this down to 1 and add a third Harsh Winds. I think that's probably even better. She's great, but do we need more of them? Because if we've got this 5/5 and this guy granting the top ally of your deck 3/3 and Overwhelm, this is probably the flex spot of how many we want. I think the rest of them I'm pretty good with. And then our 3 big. So we do have 3 6s, which again I'm really not happy with. Because, and if you're wondering why I'm kind of not clicking buttons here, it's because if I have 6 mana and a Harsh Winds against a bigger board state than me, I'm going to use the Harsh Winds, because Svajani only Frostbite's 1, but then it also depends on mana. So that's the reason I love this game. You've got to be reactive to what you're doing, and I can't think of another spell. I mean, I could take this out and put that 7-cost spell back in again. I could put this in, which gives all allies 2/2. The fact that it's slow is actually breaking my heart. Like, actually breaking my heart to bits. And if you're wondering why I'm not even thinking about that, that's his spell if I draw 2. So that's why there's no Battle Fury. I don't really... I'm loving the 3/3, the doubles of each. So, because I've got OCD, my one thing will be the pack mentality. And that leaves me with 27 units and 13 spells. That makes me feel a lot happier. So this is now... I'm pretty sure this is the way to put this one. So it's sprite name equals... I think it's that. No, is there no? Is it just a small b? There we go. There's the Frostbite. Okay, and we have went for Sej. I mean, why am I even going for Frostbite? It's not a Frostbite deck. It's an Overwhelm deck. So let's make it an Overwhelm deck with our lovely little and the equals, and then a space, and then do this. Why aren't you working? You're doing my head in. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you working? Is it that? Yeah, that's it. Sorry, there's no space after the equals. So there we go. And this is says trim. And I've done it again because I am being an idiot today. So says trim. So that's 2 videos I've made about putting this in, and I normally do it instantly without fail. So that is my deck. So we'll go very quickly through it. Deckcode will be in the pinned comments, so will a link to all our social medias, including our Discord. Please come and join us. This is why I play this game. Making decks is just hilarious to me and very fulfilling. So 13 spells, 27 units. Brittle Steel, Omen Hawk, Feral Mystic, Shared Spoils, Trapper, Mighty Poro, Avazarian Outrider. So we're getting cards that we don't normally get in Freljord, which I like. Fury of the North, the Hearthstone, the Shaman, the Harsh Wind, Swajani, Pack Mentality, and Trindlemere. Is it any good? I've literally just clicked the button. I have no idea if it's any good. Is it? I don't know. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, clip that to the clipboard, and upload this to YouTube. So that is, oh my god, that's well over half an hour. That's far too long. I apologize for it being this long. But as you can see, it takes this long just to even make that. But it's my deck. I have made another mono deck without even meaning to, because that's what it needed. In my mind, that's what this deck needed to be. All Freljord. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. It's really, really helpful. And if you really like us and you enjoy our content, you get your videos straight to your inbox if you subscribe. And you can unsubscribe if you get bored of us. Who knows. But we'd like you to. We'd like you to subscribe.